Here we are, folks. It is the Illini Guys halftime show, Illinois versus Eastern Illinois. Kedrick Prince here with me. Was quite a first half for a guy that you have been talking about how good he is. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, boy, they fought the Lawhorn and the Lawhorn won.
I love it. Well, I'm going to start this halftime show. You need to subscribe to IlliniGuys.com. There it is. Perfect timing, Mike, because if you go to the front page of our site, it's not a coincidence because I've been saying it for a long time. There's an article that I put together with some really good feedback about Draymond, his competitiveness, where he came from, why he's that way, some early history in his life, in third and fourth grade, waking up and doing certain things, and his family knew he had it in him. Proud of the kid that he stuck with it, and especially with the news with Ty Rodgers, who's playing to redshirt this year. So, again, go to our site, read the information about Draymond, because this kid he is electric off the bench. He's exactly what we thought. And one of the reasons, Mike, real quick, his dad talked about who he's played against and who he's played with. He relishes the moment and he loves the spotlight.
Yeah, and I will tell you the other thing, I don't care what anybody says, athletically, you better have it strapped on if you want to keep up with him. Now, I'm not saying he's the biggest guy in the world, but he can move with the ball or without it. He can get up in the air. And besides the straight line speed, he's got the side-to-side stuff. That's the type of player that you need in any sport to make an impact, is guys who are the total package athletically. And that's what he looks like out there.
Mike, not only that, but defensively, he is tough. You know what I'm saying to you? He guards, and he's the one guy that can get out and who can guard. And I really, really like that about him because he puts pressure on the ball. You can see he's having fun out there as well. And not only that, but you're right, to be a guy that's 6'1", and that's stretching it. I mean, he's getting that typical college 1 inch extra. He can he plays above the rim, he can shoot it, and he knows how to move away from the basketball. One of the things I talked to him about this summer, it was really funny. They put him in the Terrence Shannon role, and he didn't really like that because if you really think about it, Terrence Shannon didn't have the ball a lot in his hands, but he was in the corner making shots and being able to get to the basket, and that's what they're doing with him. I mean, you think about the offense and what they're trying to do, and they look for each other, But going on to other players to address the first half, I like how hard the kids are playing because they're playing for minutes. They're trying to show Coach Brad Underwood, I want to be on the court. And I think guys are pressing a little bit. I think the minutes are going to be there. And there's two guys in particular. Trey White, to me, looks like he's pressing a little bit, and so is Kerry Booth. The game is going to come to them. And we cannot go without this 15-minute podcast without mentioning the big fella. He is impressive. I mean, that you talk about a guy that has NBA potential. Ibisic is that fella to me, Mike.
Yeah, he is, and boy, he can do all of it. And what I thought was really fun about this half, on top of everything else that's going on with the Illini, is you see a team that was 23 for 27 from the free throw line. That's the way, 85%. And they were using their size and their athleticism to get position and go to the free throw line. And that's what we have wanted to see. Now, obviously, they're playing Eastern. I get that. But the fact of the matter is Illinois hasn't always done this, and to see it done in game one is, I thought, a real positive for this team.
Well, Mike, I have to pull up a stat here, and I want to make sure I get this right here. I know they're playing Eastern Illinois, and I respect that. But I'll tell you what, where are we at here? I was watching Purdue play Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and I'm going to tell you, it was a close game. And I'm saying that because, yes, they're playing Eastern Illinois, but it's still a Division I opponent. And if you remember last week during our podcast, you asked me what I want to see different. I said I want to see them put up 100 points. And right now, they are halfway there. That's what a good offensive team will do. Part of it is the free throw shooting, like you said. They're still not shooting the three very well. They're 5 for 18. But again, I think they're pressing. I think those shots are going to come with these. And another guy I think is not pressing with the shot, just the game, the speed of it, is Kylan Boswell. I think Kylan's going to be okay, but again, I think he's one of those guys that I failed to mention that I think is trying to impress the coaches and just let the game come to him. He's a veteran. Even though he's not been on Illinois' roster, he's a veteran player who knows what he's doing on the court.
Yeah, yeah. And I tell you, the other thing I think as we watch this, I think we got to come out and say Ty Rodgers is taking a red shirt this year, a situation where he's asking for that. It looks very similar to what we saw last year, I think, with Sincere Harris. Um, we have nothing but positive things to say about Ty. A guy who really came to Illinois. Illinois needed him. His bit has been a really good starter for the team last year. But this team is a team that is got a lot of shooting, and that's an area that maybe isn't Ty's strength. But again, let's just see how the situation plays out. But right now, I think you might want to look at, how Sincere sat out the whole season with a red shirt, and that's the template, I guess I would compare it to right now. Ked, you want to go ahead and correct me or clear up where I'm wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Mike, I've said it before. We love Ty. Ty came to Illinois when it was attractive. He started on our final weight team last year. He was extremely important to the roster. No, I just said the team is 5 for 18 tonight from 3, but this is a different team than last year. This is a team where Brad would like to have all 5 guys out there on that court, and it's capable. Everybody that's been on that court tonight, you've not seen Morez shoot threes, but he can do it.
Yep.
But there are every guy off the team who's effective at it. That's just not Ty's game right now. Now, he has worked on it. So I don't want people to think that we saw a highlight film that's all you saw and that was scripted. It wasn't. He's really working on that. But Brad wants a team. If you think about it, they got 18 threes. If they make 9 or 10 of those, this game's over forever. So that's what I mean by pressing, and those shots are going to come. And so for right now, if he's going to take the time in practice, that's what I would work on, Mike. So you're 100% right. You're very accurate from your assessment and all the things I got from my sources within the program. This was what he needed for him, and it's best for the team right now, I think.
Yeah, and again, look, part of the Illini guys coverage is we are going to, and we vowed this on day one. We vowed that the players and the coaches were going to give it their all. We're not going to rip somebody unless we have like real evidence that they didn't try, that type of thing. And I would never say that about Ty Rodgers. And he was one of the best players I saw play on the circuit. His going, into coming into Illinois was a hell of a player. And let's see how things evolve. What happens tomorrow can sometimes surprise us here today. And I didn't mean that anything politically. I'm just saying that there are big things there that happen in people's lives. But for now, he's going to redshirt, and you want him to push other players and get himself better in the practices, and when we're all for that. The other thing I got to say is watching the game so far, it was awfully nice. Morez, only had 6 minutes, but that guy manages to get 5 rebounds. The other thing I thought was really interesting, folks, and if you watch this, all of us at the Illini Guys have spent years coaching, so we're not kind of making this stuff up, But the bottom line is the first possession that Morez comes in, the first thing he does is stop a drive, and a guy has to go back out. The ball reverses around, and somebody takes a shot, and Morez is over there to block it. Now, that is defense, and everybody's excited about the block shot, but I was excited about the way he helped out a teammate who got beat and forced the ball handler who had beaten him on the dribble to take the ball away from the basket. I thought that was a nutshell of what Morez is all about.
Mike, if this game score stays the way it is, I'm not obviously a coach on the bench, but I would like to see this experiment. I would like to see Morez and the Beasters on the court at the same time. Because if you've noticed, Marty Simmons from Eastern Illinois, he has worn out that pie pick and roll with the Beasters. They know. But I think I think he's quick enough to do it, but he doesn't trust himself. So the reason I say if you play him and Merez both, you don't lose anything offensively with Ivica, but Merez is maybe quick enough or he's not afraid enough. Because I think what I've seen is they'll hedge out and they'll run back. Against a good shooting team, you're not going to do that. Even though they have 35 points, I bet you 10 of those came from within that pick and roll game. So that's something that if I had a negative to say, that would be it. That's one thing they have to address. And I want to see Merez get involved offensively because we've seen him improve. Hopefully, the second half, he'll earn some more minutes. But overall, it's a good first half. I don't want to see them become complacent. I want to see them shoot the ball better. And then this team is going to be what we thought it once was.
Yeah, and Ked, let's go into a little bit of bonus coverage on the football side. Not one, but two commitments that circle around Illini basketball. So maybe if Illinois had 3 or 4 games this week, they might have a whole new football team. So, Taiwan Cox and JJ Hurtis, is that how you pronounce that last name?
Right.
So Taiwan obviously has bloodlines. And you guys who are WWE fan, that's also a good thing too. But he's got bloodlines to his brother, Torrey Cox, and then of course, Hurtis JJ is a big road grader that is coming Illinois' way. You want to talk a little bit about those two gentlemen?
Well, the one thing I would tell you with Cox, though, that you mentioned, Mike, was that the family, and I talked about the bloodlines, because we talked about the dad playing in the NFL as well, so, and his brother, his younger brother is on the team, his older brother, excuse me, is on the team right now. Yep. So that's a big get for him, for Illinois, and also to be able to flip him, to flip him from Florida, which is really, really nice. So, it seems tough because when you lose a game, some people become negative and think, you don't have a shot at this kid. The world's coming to an end. But that's not the case at all. Illinois put their foot down, and they're still going to recruit. But like I mentioned in my column, that you've talked about speed, Mike. You and I both talked about it. And if you want to have speed and you want to compete with some of the upper teams in the Big Ten, you have to have that. And one of the things that I wrote about was Cox's 100-meter dash. He went a 10.7 in 100-meter dash. And that's going to be huge from a defensive standpoint because the speed is going to be there. So kudos, to the football staff and what they're doing and trying to continue to build and get speed on their football roster. And then the other kid, JJ Hurtis, sorry, Mike, real quick, a big kid, another 2025 3-star recruit who just committed tonight as well. So it's tough. We're covering the football games, trying to get the basketball games, get the recruiting football articles out. But this is a big kid, 6'6", 280 pounds, and 83-inch wingspan. So this is another big get for Illinois.
Yeah, and of course that's the Genesis Bryant on the coverage tonight as well, folks. So take a listen to that. That's great. And then bottom line is while you're watching this, we're going to get off to the game here. But if you don't follow either of us or you don't follow one of us, go to @MikeKegley or go to @KedPrince4 and follow us on Twitter so we can get you the best coverage of the University of Illinois sports. We love to have that. And Ked, you're back for the final farewell. But that's Genesis Bryant from the women's basketball team who's doing the color commentary, right?
That's her, and you can tell she's kind of nervous, but she has good insight. I mean, she does a good job.
Folks, she is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Her and Adalia are just great. We love our University of Illinois women's basketball team. And with that, we are going to get you back to the game. Thank you very much, Ked, and I, and maybe even Brad will be back a few minutes after the game to talk about what we saw tonight. Goodbye.